As promised, John and Danny from Sircles with an S are here with us this morning. Hi there, guys.
Hey, how's it going, Rob, Dawn, Brandon, Queenie, everyone?
You got Danny's mic on?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Say hi again, Danny.
Hi, everyone.
There you go. I just wanted to hear your voice. Let's remind everybody first, going back to Sircles with an S, all about positivity. They can download it now for free. And the whole point of the positivity thing, vis-a-vis, let's get rid of Yelp.
That's correct. Yeah, Sircles with an S. S in the front, S on the end. So Sircles plural, Sircles, is an app meant to destroy Yelp. At the end of the day, they are all about toxicity. They don't care one little bit about small businesses. So we're creating a totally different, positive environment for businesses to be shared and recommended by friends and people that you trust. Recommendations are much more valuable than reviews online. Those are strangers. We don't know them, and you don't know who's writing them, right? They could be totally fake. Could be
employees.
Yeah.
Could be competitors. It's all there's all kinds of and Yelp is notorious. They'll delete your 5-star reviews if you don't pay them. They filter them out.
I've actually caught restaurants and clubs and stuff doing the employee thing, where it's like there's all these 5-star reviews, but they have profile pictures and stuff. You get there, it's a terrible place, and then you go back and you start looking at the profiles, and that's our waitress. Oh, that's the guy behind the bar. Now, one of the things we talked about one of the last times you guys were on was, what did we ever go with? Was it the Strike Force? What was the name of your street team?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we go on a little back and forth on that.
Positivity Force is what it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
But you're getting more and more out to businesses, and are you still seeing and hearing that Yelp reaction?
Oh yeah. And it's been fantastic how many businesses have reached out to us. Over 300, as a matter of fact.
Oh, they're reaching out to you.
Yeah, 300 plus local businesses. Yeah, asking if they can promote. And so, we've got our Positivity Force hitting up as many as we can and getting our promotional materials out. But they're also, they're hearing the same stories, and it's sad. Everyone's struggling through the pandemic. Small businesses are hit super hard. And then they got this evil overlord Yelp over their head, and so you feel like you have to pay them. I mean, honestly, we're still paying Yelp right now, thousands a month, just so they don't filter out our reviews and so they don't put ads above our search results.
You guys at Tech2U, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Just to avoid all that.
Yeah.
There's nothing. It's a business decision.
They're like, they show up like the mafia, like, hey, give me a little money and we protect you,
Well, they show your competitors on your Yelp page if you don't pay them.
Oh, I see that every now and then when I'm Googling something and I'll click on a business and I'll think of you guys right away. I'm like, yep, this. So this is a guy who's not paying Yelp, and instead of me seeing his businesses, I'm seeing all of his competitors.
Even if you search for his exact business name, it's not even a broad search like computer repair. If you search Tech2U, if we're not paying them, they show 10 ads above you before you even get to the actual listing.
Oh, that's so dirty.
So if we have more businesses that are listening and they want to reach out to you, what's the best and easiest way to contact you guys preemptively?
Go to circles.com/partners, and we have a form there where they can fill out a little slip to become a partner.
Great, and then somebody will contact
reach
them.
out,
Okay, awesome.
I have gotten so used to Sircles with an S. I was telling Rob the other day, I'm going to text something, and it was a circle. It was about a circle, right, like with a C. But I kept wanting to do like I'm an S.
Right.
Lisa was saying the same thing.
And it didn't look right. Like when it was the CIR, I'm like, no, that's not right.
I type it out wrong all the time now. When I'm actually
Your
trying
phone's
to
going
use
to autocorrect it to Circles with an S now.
It does.
Yeah.
And we've gotten a few emails over the last week of people using a phrase like, I'm going to circle back to this subject, and they're spelling it wrong. And they actually send it that way.
Awesome.
So that's all
Great
good.
advertising.
So where are we at in terms of some of the things that we have improved? Because for those that are new to this or unsure of this, so we've done a regional launch basically through the RAD radio audience, and then that's growing and as we get ready for the big national launch. And there's been a bunch of things you guys have responded to, either complaints or questions or things you wanted to improve that exist right now in the Sircles app that we should start to go back to before we move forward.
Well, we just made a huge change, which is you can now search businesses anywhere. Before, it was limited to a 35-mile radius. I actually jumped into the app last night, and I favorited Mama's Fish House in Hawaii. And you can do that right now without doing an update.
So you mean literally everywhere, anywhere?
Anywhere.
That's
no
amazing. That's huge.
Because that's what I wanted to do. I saw one of you guys sent me an email or whatever, and I saw that, and I meant to go do exactly that. I was going to search for a place in Hawaii, and I didn't get to it. So there's no restrictions at all.
Not at all. And the new search bar actually lets you search for the unlisted businesses as well. People have been going in and adding unlisted businesses that don't have that Google page, and the search bar will pick those up as well.
So if you since now that there's no search restriction, if you want to add a business anywhere, and at first, if it comes up as no results found, now type in the name and add it, right? Because now it's not because you're not finding it within the radius.
Right.
Yeah, there's a plus
button in the center of the wheel. click the plus button and it'll pop up a little thing for you to add favorites and search an unlisted service.
Cool, because we got to walk people through that, because now we can add our favorite places in Napa and Vegas and all these other places.
Yeah.
To your point, though, we probably will add something to our search bar where if a result doesn't come up, it pops up and guides you through the process.
That'd be great for boomers like me.
And we have a new category too that we just launched last night. That
medical and healthcare.
Just
a lot of people want to recommend their doctors.
I love that.
Are there any? It's just that broad. Any restrictions on
there's
what
subcategories within it? Yeah.
Dental, OBGYN.
Are there any like subcategories for like the more of the holistic things, like massage therapy, or people that go do like the mumbo jumbo stuff like hypnotherapy?
We put that in alternative medicine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yep. And we do have more categories on the way, as a matter of fact. So another big one that's going to be coming soon is activities and things to do. Nice. Now the spring is here, the economy's opening back up, and people want to get out again.
How broad will that be? Will that be beaches or hiking trails?
Oh, yeah, hiking trails, biking, swimming.
Oh, that's huge.
Indoor, outdoor activities. Yeah, everything you can think of.
Not only because of the weather change, but because there's still so much that isn't open, and people want to get out and they're going insane.
But even with stuff open, we just live in such an area, and a lot of areas like this, where there's just a lot of things to do outside.
Absolutely.
So it's not, even though there might be something else to go do, you still want to see, well, where can I hike, or what part of the beach are you going to?
By the way, I know we covered this, I think, in a phone call with you, Danny, a few weeks ago, but because it was such a bugaboo when we did the big launch, this issue of having to download your contacts into your phone, I mean, that turned a certain number of people off at the launch, but you guys have addressed that.
We made huge changes to our onboarding flow. You can now skip contacts and location. Now, if you get into the app and you're not seeing map markers when you're looking for a recommendation on the map, it's because the app doesn't know where you're at. So you have to go in, allow contacts, and it'll deliver results around you.
So we do recommend that you at least allow the location while you're using the app. So at least when you open the app, it can see where you are and show you what's around you.
We got RAD at radradio.com for questions, or 888-989-9811. So if you were here on that first big day and you were one of the, 10% of people, say, oh my God, you guys are just going to follow me and you're going to contact all my contacts, then that's what we've addressed here.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Not that any of that was true in the beginning, but
no, and only a little bit. No, but we don't do that anymore. Kidding.
So one of the things, what do you want to tell a story before I move on?
I was just going to say, this Saturday night, everyone in my household was out doing stuff, and I was like, oh my God, I can order Thai food, because no one likes Thai food in the house except me. And so I posted a photo on my Instagram, and then so the next day I'm just going through it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. There were a couple people that were like, hey, where'd you go? That looks really good. And then a couple other people were like, did you check her Sircles app to see? And I was like, beautiful. And I didn't even answer them, because I'm like, yeah, go to the Sircles app. Nice. I have favorited it in there.
And you told another terribly boring story earlier in the week or last week about how it's finally become a full-on habit for you. And your friends, a lot of your friends, too.
Where I wanted a new nail salon. And I started thinking, okay, who can I text to see where are you going now? And I'm like, Sircles.
Right, exactly.
So I just went straight to, because I remember Rob's wife, Christina, mentioning a place. And I just went straight to hers. I was like, yes, oh my God, perfect.
This is not a surprising email from one of our listeners. It's from Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Says, are you going to add a category for strip clubs?
It's funny, because we do have a subcategory under Nightlife. We have it inactive for now. Kind of debating. We'll see. We'll see. Stand by.
Oh my God.
Here's an interesting question from Travis.
Hi, Travis.
Says, I'm a DoorDash driver. If they're open to it, food delivery drivers could be dropping off pamphlets and literature to restaurants as we go about our deliveries to prime them for the positivity force.
That's a great idea.
I'll save that email for you.
Todd.
Yeah.
So one of the things we've been promising people, is telling people for the last week that you're coming in, is the biggest disappointment, honestly, if we just get really candid about this, wasn't that you guys are nuts that are going to follow everybody and contact people, which was never going to happen, but you've addressed that. It was so many people that want to still invest in Sircles, which I've done. My wife and I have done multiple times. We had Jordan, what's his name, Prime Investor? What he's got?
Lead Investor.
Lead Investor. He's got a designation. He was on the show many weeks ago. And you guys, you came in and you did this big WeFunder thing, and then a bunch of people got notified that they didn't get in. So what is all of that about, and what good news, if any, do you have for them today?
Well, the SEC actually had a law in place that only allowed you to raise a certain amount of money. And WeFunder has actually been lobbying Congress, and they helped get the law changed to increase the limit.
Nice.
And we hit that limit in less than a week, which is insane. I don't know that any other business on WeFunder has ever done that.
Well, I know. Just side story, because it's not confidential or anything. It was such an impactful thing that little old me wound up on a call with Danny from one of the big wigs that we made an impact on WeFunder.
Oh yeah.
In a big way. So even they noticed.
Oh yeah, they love us too. They've been a great partner. So in fact, they've been guiding us through the new law change, and so we're actually here today to announce that we can now relaunch the SEC, increase the limit. So we already hit the cap once, and that's part of why we're here. Is hundreds and hundreds of people. I think
over 900.
Over 900 people didn't make it in last time. So we had that many people on a wait list. And so we're here. We're bringing it back to the people, bringing it back to the community.
So how does this work for those hundreds and hundreds that have been told you didn't get in last time? Do they get front of the line access, or are you just telling them, here, go to this? Or
we did give them front of the line. We emailed them several days ago, and we emailed them a couple times. So if you're listening and you didn't check your emails, we did email you, and there's been an early bird special running for the last couple weeks. It ended at 8 a.m. this morning. So it's probably still alive. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the number, but there's a cap on the early bird. All the terms are there on wefunder.com/circles. But the early bird special is a really good special. So we did give first dibs to everybody on that wait list.
And so for everybody else, can they go now?
Yeah,
they can go now.
It's live.
We put the graphic on the homepage at radradio.com, so they can just go straight to the homepage, click on the Circles button.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I really, really find it cool because especially at this time, I know that there was some talk of like, oh, it's a place that deals a lot with restaurants and entertainment, and then COVID happens. But I think what's cool about this is that we talk a lot about taking opportunity and making something happen for yourself. And whether it's through the investing side or getting involved with having your company be a part of Circles and advertise with Circles, you're kind of taking the destiny into your own hands, and it's a good opportunity for that. And I think that's a really cool thing for creators, business owners, people who want to get going in investment. I really think it's great. And I thank you guys.
And before we get to why we need more money, because that's one of the questions, right? It's like, well, how does this all work? To Queenie's point, how does investing in something like this work?
Yeah, and that is a great point, Queenie. And, this whole WeFunder crowdfunding phenomenon has really upended the whole investment, like venture capital kind of system, where small investors can get into early stage companies. Like imagine getting into Netflix or Airbnb like years ago, and small amounts of money can be worth millions of dollars. Now, the flip side of that is it's risky, of course. Not every business is going to make it. If the business doesn't make it, you lose your investment. So you have to weigh that. But it's one of those chances to get a whole crowd of people. And WeFunder is just absolutely tailor-made for our type of business. We get thousands and thousands of small investors who become users of the app, evangelists for us, and they can run on this ride with us. So we want to keep bringing it back to the people as much as we can.
Now, what about how much skin in the game do you have? Because there's a lot of companies that go out there and they start up and they don't put any of their money into this. They work very, very little, and they just rely on people to say, oh, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Oh, yeah. And big investors complain about that. Like, oh, they're paying themselves six figures. And by the way, Todd and I, my business partner with Tech2U, we didn't take a single penny of salary, compensation, perks at all for years until just recently. We only take a small amount. And by the way, we put in over $500,000 of our own money before we took a single dollar from investors. And it's important to know that we're not just putting our hand out. We put our money where our mouth is. We took the risk when nobody thought we could do it. So
on the issue of money, you talked a little bit about it when the two of you were here last time. Why is it what is so expensive, and why is it so expensive to build this thing?
Yeah, I know, right? Instagram and Twitter and these guys, they have billions of dollars and big investors behind them, and they've had years to build it. So we have a really incredible, really smart, talented, and dedicated development team. These guys, I'm so proud of these guys. They're working 7 days a week. They're jumping on calls Sunday nights and Monday early mornings, and literally around the clock. And it's expensive. Developers are not cheap. They're really talented and in high demand. And then it's expensive using Google services and all the technology. Like I think our Google bill last month was like $15,000. Jeez. And so these things add up. So it goes quick.
What is Google bill?
Well,
why do you need to use that?
Why does it
cost
Every search you do in the app pulls from their API.
Every search, every single time, even the
comes
littlest thing where like 10 results show up, that's 10 Google calls.
And since they're Google, you have to do it.
Kind of have to. Otherwise, we have to build our database from scratch.
But you're getting charged for that.
We are.
$15,000 a month.
$15,000. And we're doing some things to limit that because we don't have to show pictures everywhere. So there's like little things we can do to kind of mitigate it. But yeah, it just gives you an idea. Imagine when we 10X it,
Because honestly, when I'm looking for something and it comes up, I I'm not even so much paying attention to the photo. I'm paying attention to how many miles they say it's away, and then I'm like, yep, that's the one I was thinking, and then I click on it, and then I see the address, and I'm like, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so it's like, for me, the photo, who cares?
Like the check-in button. We don't necessarily need to show every picture of every little business around you within, 2 miles.
Right.
And as businesses start claiming their pages, we'll have them upload photos. Then we're no longer pulling it from Google.
Perfect.
Exactly.
All right, since you brought that up, we'll circle back to that in a second. No pun intended. But what about this email? I know this guy. I've used this guy. He says, I've been waiting to add my business. I jumped on the app and tried to add my business. However, there's no category for my business. I'm a pool service and repair company. Did work for Rob a few years ago.
Yeah, and we spent a lot of time over the last couple months, a lot of late nights going through all possible categories you can think of. Like if you think of an old phone book and how there was like a category for everything, right? So I think we've done a really good job of mapping pretty much everything. Not all of it is in the app yet, just because we're introducing categories a little bit at a time, just to make sure there's no bugs. But we're going to get all the main ones covered that you can think of. We'll have your guy covered, and we're also going to have like a shopping category. We're going to work on the education category.
Shopping category?
Yeah, because I mean,
Apparel.
Yeah,
jewelry.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah. All right.
Love that.
Pharmacies. There's a lot of things that you go and you buy stuff too. So
Yeah, so I recently wrote a book of poems, and it has my original artwork. It's called The Persistence of Memory. What I'm wondering is where could I have people favorite my book on Sircles? What category would that be? And if it's not there yet, which one would it be in the future?
Well, that's awesome. And you are getting ahead of us because we actually have a plan for adding a books category, but not just like the mainstream books, but exactly what you're describing, Queenie, where you can share recipes, personal recipes, poems, stories, and anything you would share. That's coming. Now, I'm not going to say when because there's so many things we want to get in, and it's like, okay, What do we pick first? But yeah.
When you do preview these things, and you don't want to say when, we understand why, but are you talking weeks, months, years?
Some of them are going to be a few months. Some of them are going to be in the next couple of weeks. So
I was just looking over my notes here. You going back to when you were talking about you sent out the email to the wait list for the people that didn't get in the original WeFunder that we did, and your notes here for me say that they've been pouring back in. So people were responding.
Yeah, tons of that. Even before we sent the email, which is really remarkable, we had a ton of money and investors coming in. I'm not sure how they found us. It was really cool. Like we were getting multiple investments every day.
You guys.
So yeah, there's just a really big pent up demand and desire for something like this, a platform with positivity.
We got this email from Christine.
Hi, Christine.
She says, if we invested the first round, can we invest more now?
Yeah, absolutely.
So just go to radradio.com, click the button, and it's just like last time.
Cool.
Yeah, see, the thing with the positivity, that's why I wait now. There's this, I don't know if they're going to have a second season. They definitely set it up to be a second season. It's called The One, and it's,
I started it.
Okay, and so I've watched the whole thing, and I've had to decide, take some time. Do I like it? And I'm going to land on I do. So now I will add it.
Right.
It's a very interesting premise where you find out who your one is, and it causes a lot of divorces because people that are married start sending in their info, and they find out who their one is, and the minute you meet them, you automatically fall in love. But there's all kinds of drama and other things that happen with it too. But,
I had a similar but different experience with a movie on Netflix that we were all debating on the air called I Care a Lot. And so the movie, for a week we debated it and I hadn't seen it. And then over the weekend I watched it and I realized that I liked it, but then that would give away my position before we actually talked about it on the air. So I had to wait until the day that we talked about it. And then I was able to put it, and I was able to use the trusted tip to remind people, watch the movie as though it's a dark comedy, not a drama.
That changed everything for me because I liked it and then hated it. And then I'm like, oh, well, now it's a dark comedy. Now I love it. Now it makes more sense.
It's a little off color, but it's entertaining.
Ron says, if I want to invest $200, is that going to be monthly?
No, it's a one-time investment, and the minimum is $250. But yeah, just one time.
So, and that was my other question. $250 is the minimum. Is there a maximum, by the way?
I think
there is a cap on the overall. So
it's limited by your net worth and income. They have something.
What about people are writing in? I know there's no answer to this, but a lot of people want to know. Well, when do we maybe think we might get a return on what we're investing?
That's a great question. First of all, there's no guarantees of anything. I want to reiterate that. We're doing our best to move as fast as we possibly can. The way I look at this and describe it to our team is this is our year. By this time next year, we should have like 1 million users, if not more, using the app on a regular basis. We should have made it by then. And so what can trigger your return on your investment is some type of liquidity event, like and this is a financial term for or a liquidity event. So like you could get bought out by another company, you could go public, like on a stock exchange, something like that. So there's really no for sure, but it could happen in months, it could happen in a couple of years, but you have to be prepared to stand by for a couple of years. It could take a little bit.
What's the broad vision for how, when you decide, okay, we're ready to go national, go worldwide, how do you get to 1 million? I mean, our audience is big, but gee whiz, it's not that big. To 1 million, and then more and more and more. Obviously, word of mouth's a big thing, but what's the general, without giving away strategy, idea of how you grow it?
Well, we have a few celebrities that have reached out to us, and we're working some deals. Yeah, as people that they want to be involved, as you have, Rob, and actually want to be partners with us. So they have a big microphone, national, international stage. Not to mention the fact that we are building the app we're networking, creating like a network effect within the app. So there's still things in the app that are on our whiteboard that aren't there yet, but when they're in like the reward system and just little things, little perks and things that get people sharing it and getting it that real virality, and that's when we're going to be ready to launch on a national stage in the next few months.
By the way, you alluded to it. We've all alluded to it. We should mention, when the minute you download the app, if you haven't already, follow all of us. Yeah. Any of us that you like or that you trust, and John and Danny are on there as well.
Something also that I think is really cool about Sircles is that, like, if there's something that you want to start doing, maybe it's not something you know a whole lot about yet, you can just type that word in. Let's say you want to go to more museums. You just type in the word museums and you can kind of see what's close to you and adventure and branch out that way. It doesn't always have to be the 900 Google listings, most of which are not in your area. It could be a little bit more pinpoint and simple, and then maybe you'll find something that one of your friends has liked.
Well, and I would really recommend, and then immediately start adding things. Look at the categories and start adding things. Like, start being interactive, because it just, that's what it's about. It's so your friends can see the things you like, and then you're able to see the things that your friends like.
That's a very good point.
And I know that us as a show, I'm going to tell you, we're more apt to follow you when we see the things you like.
Right.
Because that's what it's about. So if you haven't chosen anything yet, I'm like, I'm not going to follow you yet. I don't even know what you like.
Yeah, what are you recommending?
Yeah, what are you recommending? I don't know if we're on the same page or not.
They're just creeping.
We got this email's from Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Says, I'm one of those that got crushed when I found out that my investment was refunded, but today I got my redemption. Thank you for fighting us to give you our money. Andrew says, can you invest with a debit card or just wire?
You can invest with a debit card.
Yeah, you can even do it straight. So he probably means by wire straight to the bank account, which is how I did it.
You can do both.
But you can do anything. And credit cards as well, right?
I have access to a couple $100 in change. Can I invest that way?
No, you don't, because you're talking about the bucket.
I'll meet you in the parking lot.
This is from Angela, going back to the fact that there's no more search radius limitation. Says, I'm so excited for this Sircles update. And it's not even an update, right? It's just already in there. She doesn't have to download anything.
That was a back-end change, so we were able to put that in.
Back-end change. I live in a tiny town in northern Nevada, and there's not much here. However, we travel a lot, and I've been wanting to add businesses in places that are very far from us, but haven't been able to. I'm so excited that I can finally do that. Thank you, Sircles, for such a great app.
Oh, I love
You're welcome.
that.
Thanks for hanging in there.
I knew that would be a big one, because there were so many people who were so frustrated in the beginning.
Well, I get messages from folks like on my Insta, and they're like, where do you go here in Arizona? Where do you go there? So now I'm going to be like, go to my Sircles. Download the app if you haven't already. Go to my Sircles.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I'm like, yep, it's in Sircles. Follow me.
I don't quite understand this email. It's from Kirby.
Hi, Kirby.
Says, I have people who just friend me, so their friend numbers continue to go up. Oh, okay. Will anything be done to stop that?
Well, their friend number only goes up if you follow them back.
Right.
Well, but why would it matter?
Seriously.
Right, just don't follow them.
Competition?
Exactly.
Is that all it is?
If you don't follow them, you don't become friends. Yeah.
Oh my
Don't
gosh.
try bringing the negativity into Sircles.
It's not about the
Sircles.
number of followers per se, unless you really want to expand the sources you have to look at of places to go and things to do. Right. But it's like, oh, what do you mean I don't have that many followers?
Now, this may be a question that you either don't want to answer or you don't know the answer to, because it could be either one. Do you guys plan on running this thing yourselves for the long run? For example, Jeff Bezos just stepped down from Amazon. Or would you like to sell to a major tech firm and just take your profits?
We would leave any possibility on the table. Right now, we have absolutely no intention to sell. We have a long way to go. We want to build this up and really take out Yelp and make a mark on the world, bring positivity to everyone. And until we see that through, we're not making any moves.
Well, just working with you over the last few years with this, I know how passionate you all are about this. And I just know you're not going to sell it until it's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And maybe at that point, you go, well, hey, we've created it, and we want to go to Hawaii more often.
Exactly. Yeah, there may be a time for that.
And you would have earned it.
Anything else we need to touch on?
I feel like we covered all the bases here. So, Danny?
No, I think we're good.
All right, so you go to radradio.com to get to the WeFunders. You can stop sending me all your angry emails and your nice ones, too, about how am I ever going to be able to reinvest in Circles with an S. If you don't have the app, you need to download it. It's free. And then you need to follow all of us. And then, as Dawn said, you do need to start adding stuff right away because, back to that, the guy who's trying to be negative, nobody will, right? I mean, unless they're your best friend. And even your best friend's going to be like, why am I following you on Circles? You don't have anything
why
in
am
here.
I looking to see where you go, as restaurants? You don't put anything.
Apparently, you don't go anywhere. Hello, Michelle. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Wanted to know, where do I find golf favorites under Circles?
Golf is coming, actually.
Yeah, better, because I got a whole list of golf courses.
That's going to be under the
cycling.
Would that be under the activity thing that you teach?
That's exactly right.
Beautiful. All right, so that'll be soon. Circles with an S. John, Danny, thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks so much, Rob.
Are
Thank you,
you
Rob,
put
everyone.
rodeos under
Oh,
activities?
for God's
Oh, yeah. Everything you can think of.
And,
Festivals,
The
all
next
kinds of stuff.
WeFunder is up at radradio.com.